Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 23rd of October. My name is Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gery, Pear.
And Gary, what an amazing week we have had.
It was big.
We've had 22 auctions this weekend, Gary. We've sold 19 out of 22,
We did it.
which gives us a clearance rate of 86%. And I'd like to send a special cheerio to Ashley, who I had dinner with on Saturday night, who has become the statistician, Gary, of Gery, Pear and Associates, who corrects us every time we overinflate our results.
Well, not ever. Hopefully there hasn't been many times. We got it wrong by a few percent, but this time we've been very careful. So Ashley will have to find something else to talk about.
Correct.
86%.
It was actually 86.3%, but we've rounded it down to 86%.
Yeah, exactly, because we're conservative.
Correct.
We don't like boasting or showing off. That was a big weekend, Phil.
Against an industry average, Gary, of 62%. So once again, at Gery, Pear and Associates, we've hit the auction results out of the park.
We can put the towers up, Phil, with a little sparkle bit on the top of our one, I think. That's a fantastic weekend. Let's talk about the market, what happened out there. But before we do that, before we bring you the action of the weekend, it was a very, very big week. During the week, a few of our people in the office are still a little bit hungover because the gala event of the year, the real estate spectacle, the speziale of real estate was on Thursday night. That is the REIV Real Estate Awards. And
2012 Real Estate
We're going now
we're
just merging across now to Crown Casino. You can see on the screen there, all of us having a wonderful time at Crown Casino, where the creme de la creme of real estate agents, Philip, and of course the reason that we were there is because of the nomination of Adam Joski as residential salesperson of the year 2012, which is Adam's second time he's been
third year as a finalist.
No, second in 3 years.
Okay.
And he was one of 9 people, I think, that was nominated. So congratulations to Adam for his nomination, but unfortunately, no cigar, Philip. He's the bridesmaid yet again.
Having said that, Gary, when you make it as a finalist, you're really standing in the top 10 out of all the residential sales agents, and that's thousands of them. So well done to Adam, and look how nicely we're frocked up too, Gary.
Oh, looking beautiful there, Phil. Just absolutely magnificent. The whole black tie affair was wonderful, and as I mentioned earlier, a couple of people a little seedy on Friday. But
apparently, some people from our office didn't get home till after 4 o'clock in the morning.
Heard the rooster in the morning, Philip. But that was good on Adam getting nominated, and there was lots of other categories as well. And Gery, Pear and Associates, of course, with all those other categories, didn't get a nomination.
We did not win any category.
In fact, although we did steal one of our friends' award and got a photo taken with it. I don't know if we've got a shot of that, but that was funny, yes. So we did steal someone else's award just so we get a photo with it award.
And just for the record, the reason we didn't win any other categories, we actually didn't nominate for any other category, just for the record.
It's hard to win the lottery when you don't buy a ticket, isn't it, Phil?
Correct. Come on, let's get into the real estate week, Gary, because it was huge.
Congratulations also to Daniel Rees for Salesperson of the Month for last month.
Absolutely.
And good on him. He's a good
man.
Doing
so well.
Doing great stuff. Let's talk about the weekend. It was huge. We wrapped a number of properties last weekend. We're going to talk last week on GPTV. We're going to talk about those now. One of those was at 3 at 195 to 197 North Road, Philip, in Caulfield.
Lior Samuel.
Actually, Elsternwick, sorry.
Lior Samuel did the auction on that. He did. And sold it well in excess of the reserve.
Reserve was 570, sold for 655. Another one reviewed was 8 at 75 BAMBRA Road. Didn't get to auction it, Philip, because we sold it before auction for $635,000.
Well above the reserve there too,
well, it certainly met the vendor's expectation. That's why it was sold. 26 Pine Street was one that you were involved with. The price is undisclosed.
Correct.
Never got to auction.
We were quoting 7 to 770 on that, Gary, and whilst the price is undisclosed, the selling price, I believe, did start with an 8.
Okay, 2 at 378, a beautiful period style apartment right in the heart of Caulfield North, Philip. Lior auctioned that one, did another great job.
He's a sensational auctioneer.
He's doing all right, isn't he, young Lior? That one was sold under heavy competition, a reserve of 520, sold for 565 with I think 3 or 4 bidders.
Okay, now let's just cut it right there for the moment, Gary, because there is a theme coming through. Yes. There is no question that with all of the talk about in the media about the housing market starting to improve, with interest rates coming now down to a historical low, I think it's fairly safe to say after we've had 19 out of 22 auctions, with competitive bidding on just about every auction that we sold, with a depth of 3 and 4 bidders on some, I think we can call the market starting to waken. They've rung the bell, I think. The bottom of the market has been achieved. I think it's upwards from here.
Recovery time, that's for sure. Let's talk about 164 Balaclava Road. We shot this GPTV episode there there last week. We talked about it coming up, but it's not coming up, Philip, because it's gone.
I think it had 2 weekends in the marketplace on a very low-key marketing campaign, and we sold it on Sunday night.
We did.
For a figure that is regarded as a very, very strong
So
price.
you don't have to go with us and have a whole bells and whistles sale either, Philip.
All you need is a GPTV footage and boom, out it goes.
More effective than anything. 3 properties in Alexandra Street, East St Kilda. Tell us about them. We lined them up and mowed them down.
I'm very proud of this result, Gary, because this was a listing that I was involved in personally with Darren Krongold. It was numbers 19, 21 and 23 Alexandra Street. Quick shot of those up on screen. This is a generational opportunity because it's been in the same vendor's hands for in excess of 30 years. Massive crowd. We had one of them auctioned at 3:30, then the next one at 4 o'clock, then the next one at 4:15. I would imagine we had a couple of hundred people there across those 3 auctions, and all 3 of them sold, and all 3 of them sold for prices that met the vendor's very strong expectations.
And it was like a carnival, a festival, wasn't it?
It was, Gary. It was
Alexandra
quite exciting,
Street
actually.
Carnival. And 2 of the 3 sold to people who both Daniel Fisher and Darren Krongold have been working with for a long time. So that's good work for those 2 gentlemen, and congratulations to the vendor. What a great result. There's just heaps coming up this weekend, Phil. We've got another big weekend. How many have we got this week?
We have got another 22 auctions, Gary.
Isn't that wonderful? It's 22?
22.
Wow, okay. Well, we're getting into it. It's going to be a big one. I think on Sunday you're doing 6 and I'm doing 4, so I know we've got a very busy and big Sunday. Let's talk about some of the homes that we're featuring this big weekend, the last weekend in October. Talk a little bit about one that's coming up on Saturday morning in ROBE Street, or I should say Saturday 12:30 p.m. in ROBE Street. Terrific address, beautiful
ROBE
period
Street
property.
has become the #1 street in St Kilda. And funnily enough, when you and I got into real estate, Gary, ROBE Street, you would go there for either a prostitute or a drug hit.
Well, and I wouldn't go there for either of those things, but somebody could go
somebody
there
might
for
have.
those things.
How the world has changed. This is now one of the hottest addresses, and you just don't get that in that street anymore. You just get fabulous houses with fabulous people and shiny BMWs. How the world changes.
Thanks for summarising the street so beautifully.
And we don't have any footage of either of those 2 activities.
The property is going at 12:30.
Although I do have some other videos.
It's a
if
great
anybody's interested
property,
in
12:30, an older style apartment. David Cutler's involved with that. We look forward to selling that one. We've also got another one coming up on Sunday now at 10:30 a.m. an apartment on ALMA Road. Been a lot of interest in that one. I think I've got the auction honours. That's 5218 ALMA Road. 10:30 on Sunday. On Sunday, Philip, we've got a terrific property in Sidwell Avenue. I think you know a little bit about this one.
Fantastic
Going
house.
up at 2:30. Tell us about it.
This is a 1960s/1970s house, the coolest house on a large block of land. This is a really good sized family home. Sidwell Avenue is one of the best addresses of St Kilda East. Even if you're not interested in buying something, if you're interested in architecture and interior design, come along and look at this house because it's nothing short of sensational.
Sunday, Philip, at 3:30. You're doing a great auction, I hope. I know, a great property, at 12 WAIORA Road, Caulfield North, in what I like to consider as FNC, Philip, Far North Caulfield, a very beautiful
FNC,
part.
I thought you were going to tell me something.
No, there's no message in that. That's vulgar, Philip. It's clean. FNC, Far North Caulfield, a beautiful part of Caulfield, right up there on the border of Armidale in WAIORA Road.
A very special house, this one, Gary. Really one of the best addresses of Caulfield North. A sensationally, beautifully renovated and presented house. This is a really interesting test for the top end of the market.
Been a lot of interest in it, and of course straight after that you're off to FINDON Avenue.
I am.
Again, another great street,
address.
and that's going to be straight after WAIORA Road, I think at 4 or 4:30. So a big afternoon, and then from about 5:30 onwards you can start your weekend.
Thanks very much.
That'll be terrific. But we are now at number 43 Narrowong Road in the heart of Caulfield South. This is a beautiful
I'm
home.
going to talk a little bit about this house,
Why
Gary,
don't you?
because this is a house that I've always longed to have a look through.
Yes.
And in my 30-year career, never had the opportunity. This is a property on the corner of Narrowong and Barindi Road, 2 of the best addresses
It's
of
a
Caulfield
landmark,
South.
isn't it, this
It is a
one?
landmark house because this is an architect-designed house. It's a really, really interesting house. It's been beautifully furnished right throughout. This is a house which looks into the garden from just about every room. I think this is an oasis of a property, and I'm really looking looking forward to Sunday's auction.
Well, it's going to be at 12:30, Phil, so you better get an early night Saturday night. We've got the biggest weekend coming up and very excited about it. And then there's a bit of a breather on the Derby weekend, Phil, as we get our energy back for a big November. So the year is just flying away, and then before you know it, we'll be singing jingle bells and getting ready for 2013.
Gary, I was taking my son Ben to school this morning, and I was saying to him, I think we worked out there was about 56 days to go before school breaks up for the end of 2012, which I find just staggering.
Did you see, by the way, today at the school there was an open for inspection sign? Did you see that?
Well, no.
Outside the school?
An open for inspection sign which said Gery Pear.
Gery Pear open for inspection sign outside the school.
Well, there were actually 5 of them, Gary, and I have to say that my son Jacob was behind that.
Okay.
We did do an open for inspection board run last night at about 11 o'clock.
So your party to muck up day.
Pretty much.
Good on you. There goes his anonymity. You've dobbed your own son in.
Yeah,
great.
The sooner he spends a little bit of time behind bars, gets that out of his system.
Anyway, we're not selling the school. Would have been a good listing.
Yeah.
Imagine how many units you could have put there.
Absolutely.
But it's not going to be sold. This is Gery Pear signing off. A very, very big week in real estate. We look forward to seeing you next week on GPTV on our 50th episode of GPTV.
I'm Philip Kingston. I'm pumped. I'm excited for spring. Have a fantastic week. We'll see you next week.
Bye for now.